Hello, everyone. We're going to get started. So I'll start by just saying, Amit Sab Kwakwilam. You're all welcome here today. I'm glad you all got some good food in you. Thank you to our amazing cooks again, Jill and Alicia. We'll give them a round of applause. And so we're going to start today with a song, and then I'm going to share some words and an update for you all. But I'll invite Miranda now to start with a song. So today we're going to do the Shakwatimka Honor Song. My mom is from the Shakwatimka Nation of the Ulluilsc Nation, and she's from Simk First Nation. It's my father that is here in Musqueam. Usually at this time it would be more appropriate to have a Musqueam Squamish or Tsleil-Waututh song, but we're going to do a Shakwatimka song today because we want Miranda to sing. And Miranda has to leave early today. So we thought this would be the time. But before we do that, you've heard our openings now for the past couple days. And so I just want to know if anyone can remind me. I know, but I want to know if you know. The name of the place that has been shared. I'll wait. There we go. Anyone? Yeah? So the Squamish pronunciation is Kamkamalai, and then the more downriver dialect of Hunkaminam at Musqueam is Kamkamalai. Yeah, slightly different ending. And does anyone remember what that means? Oh. Yeah, the place of the broadleaf maple, or the place of the maple trees, lots of maple trees. And so, yeah, good for you. Let's give those two a round of applause for their amazing memory. So I'll share a few words after we have this song. And when we have this song today, I want everyone to think of Thelma and Smitty and Felicia Stogan, because they can't make it today because Smitty's in the hospital recovering from her surgery. And so if you pray, please pray. If you don't pray, just think of them. And that's plenty. Or maybe do both. And that's okay too. Just sending our love to Thelma and Smitty, who were supposed to be our speakers today but can't make it today because of, they're in the hospital, sadly. So we'll send them our love. Here we go.
That's the honor song. It's usually reserved for our elders and just our ancestors of within the nation. And so when we sing it to that high vibration, that sings our message and our prayers out to those that are in need. So, Cooksham, thank you.
So I'm now going to fill some space. The invitation to have Thelma and Smitty speak and sing to you all today was supposed to share about the work they do as well. And so you're not going to be able to hear that from them, so I can do my best to relay what I witnessed them do. So, and I'll kind of go through everyone that I can that's been part of this today so you can understand the cultural component of it. So Thelma and Smitty Stogan, they do a lot of the burnings. And what they also do is they brush out the space. So we have cedar here today, and there is cedar bark workshop as well. And the cedar is really, what I've been taught is a lot of it is about protection. And so what they'll do is when I go into a new space, whether it's an art gallery that I'm exhibiting work in, or if there's the capacity within the organization, or I think the organization could use it, I'll ask Thelma and Smitty to help me to just brush out the space. And they have a really gentle way of doing it. And it's from Musqueam what they do. So they'll come in with a drum and some cedar boughs, and they'll kind of just go throughout the space. I think maybe people are very familiar with the concept of smudging with sage. So the Musqueam way is actually we don't do that really so much. We do it, but usually as a gift, or if it's like someone in my context, like my mother's side of the family does it, then we'll do it. But the more Coast Salish way is to just use the cedar bough. And the cedar is a very potent medicine. So, and there's a lot that could be said about it. But I think what I always tell people is that just sitting with the cedar tree is enough sometimes, because when you go into a forest, most people are now calling this forest bathing, but the concept is just that there's a medicinal purpose to the cedar tree, and it will actually regulate anything in your digestive system too, just walking and sitting with the tree, and it will calm you down. So Cease, who isn't here yet, as well as many others over the course of my life, have taught me to just sit with the tree. My dad's way is he'll just put his hands on it like this. I'll just kind of sit with my back to it, but my dad likes to go like this to it. And that's just going to calm everyone down. And so I think my mom, she has a background in psychology as well. So she says that it's connecting the polyvagal theory of the nervous system to what we've always felt, our connection to these plants and these trees. So there's Western, more Western science that is now backing all this up, what we've always known, and that's polyvagal theory and our nervous system regulation. So what they do with their cedar is they'll have a drum and a song, and they'll just sort of like go through the space. They'll open all the doors and the windows, and they'll use the cedar to help sort of like circulate good energy, good vibes. And I've done that in many places with them. And what they shared is that places that are really like, there's a lot of tension or energy, like in the downtown east side where there's a lot happening, there's a lot of movement, there's all sorts of people going throughout these places. It's probably something that needs to get done routinely. So Audrey Siegel, who also spoke yesterday, does a lot of this work too. And Audrey's got an amazing voice as well. And then Auntie Mary, I'm just trying to connect all the pieces from Musqueam. she's sort of like the go-to in the family that I go to. So she's the oldest daughter of Alex Point, who was my great uncle, and so I'll consult with her a lot, and she'll refer me to the proper people. And then she has an amazing voice too. And then the young people, I wanted to get some children, because there's been so much devastation with the residential schools over the past century, that I want to always make sure that there's a child that is involved in the project or working at some point. It's so important to me that we listen to First Nations children, that they're present, and that we don't forget about them. And I really do my best to sort of just treat them with the most respect I would give to any high esteemed adult. And then we have young people as well from, around early 20s, 21. So there's a full range of ages that are involved to do the work of gathering medicine. And everyone has a role within that. And I think humans have always kind of worked like this. I'm just trying to reiterate what's been done since basically the dawn of time. And then I think the cultural sharing is that, is really a part of this, is recognizing that we always try to make sure that everyone's has a role. They know who they are. I think Auntie Mary does a good job of speaking about that too, that you know who you are. And then when we all know who we are, we all know our role. And that we see in the young people their role, and we help them come into it as well. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. I think maybe because Thelma and Smitty aren't here, I want to see if there's any questions, if I can put you on the spot, Heather, for me and Heather about this work, before we go into the workshops.
This is your chance to ask. Don't be shy. There's also going to be, because Badger's still sharing, right? We're not
Yeah.
going to workshop it.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part. Sorry, we're going on the fly now because our speakers aren't here. But yeah, I think it's a good time to ask questions, because I know there's people here from many different places, organizations, institutions, just individuals, and I want to make sure that you have a good chance to ask any questions about even how this came together or anything. Oh, there we go. See, great. That's great.
That's what you asked. How did this come together?
Well, I can only speak to the past year, but from what I understand, there was a grant that was put out. As always, there's a grant, and sector innovation. Yeah, so sector innovation from the Canada Council for Arts, to sort of look back. And so Heather has made these amazing relationships with Badger and Miranda and Cease and Sinaquila and Jazz. And so Heather and Jazz conducted a series of interviews with these individuals. And then from there, the information that was gathered was sent over, and then I looked at it. And then we met with Auntie Mary, who is the Director of Indigenous Relations for YVR, who understands a lot how to incorporate some of these Musqueam cultural teachings or broader Indigenous or interior Coast Salish teachings into policy at a very large place. And then we met with her, and she gave some feedback based on everything that we had. And then I looked at it again, and me and Heather sort of went back and forth about language. And the last minute, I went to my sister, and it was 10 o'clock at night. I called her and I said, because she's a lawyer, and I'm like, what do you think of this? She does it to me all the time. She'll call me and she'll be like, oh, what do you think about this? And I'm like, okay. So we really rely on each other, we lean on each other, and we support each other. Like I said, she's a lawyer at the BC First Nations Justice Institute. So she's defending Indigenous people all the time. So I very, almost regretfully, but not quite, because I don't want to regret that, called her. And then we got a final say, and then, Heather went back and forth, and here we are today.
Yeah, I think that's a good description of the logistical process. And then also the reason it started is because Vines works with a lot of people who have like complex PTSD. I think is like the easiest way to summarize it all to me. That means that there's a lot of discomforts that are happening for people. And it might not be about the situation that you're in, but it might be, but it doesn't really matter because you have to deal with it either way. And we wanted to not just to deal with it in a land-based way, as well as being, in an indoor space, in a city, all these things. But to me, it's really important that we were like applying the knowledge systems, as many as we could from all the people that we work with, in order to support, our decisions, our care, all of these things. But I think like the impulse is always usually a problem, and trying to figure out with a problem how to deal with it, what the solution is. And so, yeah, we wanted to gather the medicine together to prepare anybody that comes through Vines to have the most resources, tools, and understanding to support people who are, in altered states, people that don't want to work within the colonial system, all of these things. So that's why it began, because at Vines everything is people-centered, and like wanted to center people. So yeah.
That's a great question. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Probably more for Heather, but I'm curious, this event feels like a meeting that has grown. And I'm curious about, like, not beginning in terms of this event, but like in this work for you, like how did you first step into it in a way that actually started to lead to what this is about? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
the first step was that I wanted I wanted the people that we did interviews with to be able to gather their own medicines and their own territories and give them out to elders. So that was the very first step. And then, because to me, if we're gonna, have a reciprocal relation around this information, the first step would be to ensure that they have the resources they need to take care of themselves and their relations. So yeah, that was the first step.
Actually, I remember Heather came to visit me, and we went to the UBC Research Forest, and we just went on a walk, and Heather was like, I just want people to be able to walk around and gather medicine. Like I think we didn't, it was, at that point, it was like, I just want people to walk around and do what we're doing right now. And then it was like, oh, that sounds great. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Maybe like a two-part question. One is putting together these events, applying for grants, all of this administrative work is a lot. And so I'm curious to how you both replenish yourself through this process. And then Manny, too, I think being in Native people and arts administrative
What was the first part?
How do you replenish yourself?
Oh yeah. Okay. You want me to just answer that first? How do I replenish myself? Any sort of meaningful interaction where I'm like exchanging things with somebody in a way that's like not just verbal. I think that's how I replenish myself. Yeah.
And I think replenishing, a lot of it has to do with the intention. And so a dear uncle, respected doctor and elder who just died, Shane Point, taught me once, and he said that everything is medicine if you know how to use it. So I try to remember that every day. So sometimes the replenishing looks like I'm just going to sing in my car on the way to work, which is what I did today. And it's just with the right intention. I say, well, I'm in this car. I'm going to just sing. And I'll just sing. Sometimes it looks like I'm going to go hike in the woods for 6 hours. I'm going to go up a mountain. I'm going to go just splash my face with cold water. I'm going to eat. I'm going to drink water. The replenishing can come from anywhere all the time with the right intention. And I think just maintaining that little intention all day, that I'm eating this to nourish my soul and my body so I can come out at the microphone and talk to you all. That's what it was. Or I'm just going to take this moment and slowly, mindfully drink the water because I'm going to sing. And then it's, I do spend a lot of time going to, I like going to the sauna and the steam room and sweating everything off. But I've been very blessed, with my mom who has taught me a lot about our cultural teachings and also has a background in psychology. So she's taught me my whole life, how to slowly take care of yourself. So the other thing I'll say about cedar, in terms of taking care of yourself, I would say the strongest way to brush yourself off or to smudge or whatever is actually just to go to the plant directly in the ground. So, because you don't really need to actually, once you start learning things, like having the right intention, we don't really need to take sage from the sagebrush all the time. We don't need to take cedar from the cedar all the time. Just touching the plant is enough. Just smelling the plant is enough. Just feeling it in the ground with the right intention is enough to brush you off or to have a smudge. We don't need to do that all the time. I think it's become incredibly extractive, the amount of cedar that's being harvested or the amount of sage that's being burnt. Because at the end of the day, a lot of this is we've become greedy. And the old Coast Salish stories that I've been taught is that greedy people will get turned into stone. So I want everyone to be mindful of that just touching a plant, just touching the medicine is all you really need sometimes. Or just putting your hand in the cold water, splashing your face with the right intention, that's all we have to do sometimes. It doesn't need to be so complicated. And working here, I don't think I've ever felt the extraction like I have in other places I've worked. There have been, and I think a part of that too is my own self being mindful that I can't change everyone, I can't change everything, and accepting that. And when I accept that, I can pace myself and pace the people around me to prepare them slowly and be like, well, I know you have good intentions and you want to do things the right way, and just accepting that takes time. And it's a lot slower than I thought. And that's where I came up with this concept that I wrote in the, what was it?
Introduction.
In the introduction of this is just a drop of water in an ocean. There's so much as humans that we have to learn still. And I guess want to say thank you to all of you here for taking part in this today and this week. I really respect you all so much for being here and listening and taking this in and spreading the word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, last question, and then we'll go on to the video. Yes.
things I went through, they were also medicine. And so that I'm not a victim, that I use that medicine to help heal my ancestors and my community. And so I really just wanted to say that and honor and salute you for the work you're doing here, for raising those voices because we need them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yay. Miranda. Okay, so what we're going to do now is what we were going to do before, is share a video from Ulluilsc on Christine, Jack, and Badger. Will come after to speak more about it and answer questions, and we'll maybe have breakout discussions as well. But just before we start playing the video, so Badger is my partner now, but we were friends for quite a few years before. And their mom and their community began this reoccupation called Ulluilsc, which is in St'át'imc territory, which is near Lillooet, so about 4 hours from here. So Christine will talk in the video about Ulluilsc, so I'm not going to go on about it, but this video was made during a Vines art trip where we brought about 15 people up to St'át'imc territory to do a concert and raise funds, and then also to do a work party and naturally learn cultural things from Christine and everybody that was with us. So yeah, I'll play the video now.
When you go down here, there's an old broken down bridge, and it goes back up across the creek, and then you go back up that way.
Oh, wow.
That's where I want to build my forever home. My grow old home. I'll still be here, I just won't be at the main cabin down there. I just love it because everything you see there, we're saved. We've saved it all.
That's right.
They started logging way back there from the top, of course, and we stopped them about 8 kilometers back. So everything you see, if I didn't come and do it, it would all be gone.
Nah, don't stop. Don't
Sit
stop.
on the red truck all day.
Here by the fire, medicine flowing through my lungs. Hearing the water rushing on, medicine flowing through my lungs. Here by the fire, dreams unfold, medicine flowing through.
Guess what? Out in Snook Christine, Jack, and Squatchy Jack. Ulluilsc, Mascan, St'át'imc. My name's Christine Jack. I was born in Tlakepmuc, but St'át'imc raised, and we're into our 10th year of reoccupying St'át'imc territory. Our original idea was to stop logging, and I'm grateful to say not one logging truck's pulled up nor passed. Not one of the timbers have been taken down in any way for industry. we let the mine run out their permit, so Elizabeth Mine is now shut down. I guess one of the things I want the people out there to know is, you know, those that come here and help establish what's necessary for our people to come back and our youth and our elders to be able to have a place out on their land is one aspect of what Ulluilsc is all about. I would like to present on year 10 is they've come. Trickle by trickle, some youth have come out here. Trickle by trickle, the elders are coming, and that's the answer to the many prayers and dreams of other elders. You know, the late Albert Joseph. It was his footprint first put down as a caretaker. He told me his father was a caretaker. His father lived to be 121 years old. That was past 3 years ago now. You know, to be able to be asked by these elders to be the next caretaker in my generation, I didn't understand what I was getting myself into, but as it grows and it unfolds itself, what an amazing part of my journey. To have done so much work on myself, to be asked to be a stronghold, to try to bring peace to such a horrific changing that Mother Earth is going through, as well as the human aspect of what we've done over generations. Now it's our turn to clean it up. So, from what I can remember being, you know, scared, the whole facing what I thought I knew, and then, you know, my first few years here were really transforming. But, you know, as a collective of those that helped start, from the youth down there to the elders to those of us in between, you know, the prayer really was to bring security back. Food security, water, the harvesting, the practice of culture, the practice of the Shtlatnium way of living, as well as healing. You know, the sobriety that people have, you know, recognized that they need more than the programs provided down there in these different cities and even Ulluilsc. It's not enough, and you know, as they slowly clean themselves up, they've been brought out here to see what they can have if they just hold on to that sobriety. Ulluilsc's alcohol-free village will always be. It's the foundation. You know, we learn medicines to heal the mind, the body, the spirit, all these aspects of healing. You can't just face one. So it's been a pretty amazing roller coaster to find out what is needed, but just enough of the necessities so they don't get scared, they don't get doubtful again and feed on the negativities, that they can trickle up here and take their time, because it's here, it's reality. And some of them that have shared that are just overwhelmed that they do have this place of Ulluilsc. And you know, again, I had no idea what it would become or where it's really even going, because we don't have that built-in plan. We're just trying to unfold our journey and create a better place, not only for our people, but for those that come and share this land and the waters, whether they're campers, hikers, or hunters. I envision this hooking up to each other, just to ourselves back together in a healthy way. Because if we don't let it go, we're not creating good space for the good life to come and seep into us. So, 10 years, my goodness, there's been so many of you. Believe me, in my mind, in my heart, I do the best I can to remember y'all.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should crumble and fall, or the mountains should tumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long
for the settlers that
as
have
you
chosen
stand,
to turn yourself around here and hold me in a little more respectful manner, as well as yourselves. Thank you so much. You're a part of this renewal. We can't have peace on our land without your willingness to participate and accept it. And it means an awful lot for those that are still coming over big waters and are being pushed out because of wars all over the earth and whatnot. Our prayers go out to you. And at times it's all we can offer. Some really good prayers that are very sincere, and again, being so full to be here, the one to witness so many things. But we're here. I didn't think I was making it 10 days, but now it's 10 years. It goes by fast, people. But I love the new, I'm not even wearing it, but I love the new t-shirts and hoodie. I love the words that say the people are still continuing to gather. That means a lot. That says a lot right there. So come on out to Ulluilsc. I'm gonna be here as long as I can be. And when I'm not, there's things to sit. Be with Ulluilsc, be with the spirit of the land, spirit of the sun, spirit of the water, spirit of the fire.
oh, stand
Put your hands down, Mother, and fill yourself up.
stand now. Stand by me. Stand by. One more time. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me.
All right, so Badger's gonna come up and share a bit more about Ulluilsc as the main helper for a long time.
Whew. Sorry, it's been like 4 days away from my mom, and I'm over there just crying away. Hello, friends and relatives. My name is Badger Jack. I come from Hoiston territory in Schlattling Nation. Oh, it's so hard to describe the feelings that I get, because I'm a really emotional heart person. Like, I cry every time I watch that video, because it just brings me back to feeling so proud of my mom. If you guys could see some of the pictures of her in the very beginning, she just like, and to where she is now, you know, she didn't, well, I say this in the kindest way, she didn't like look her age in the beginning, and over the years, you know, the way experiences can age you in a way that you're proud of every scar, every stretch mark, you know, 'cause all the growing pains that you go through. Like, she's just become such a much more beautiful and wise person, even though she was so beautiful and so wise in the beginning. It's so intense to witness it over and over again, and to let myself witness it over and over again, because it's so healing for me. Because I'm first generation out of residential school. And that means both of my parents went to residential school. So like when I say healing, it reaches far back, and it's also has this opportunity to ripple so far forward too. And I can really have felt that in this room over the past couple days, and it's been confusing and difficult to sit with myself and listen to the panels, because I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta wait. You know, it's like that, what my mom was saying, like she's so happy and proud to acknowledge arriving to a place where people can ask her to do those things. And I think that's something that a lot of us, our spirits, like today, soothing the spirit, a lot of our spirits don't get soothed in that way. You know, I recognize being first generation out of residential school, there's not very many like myself who got raised by both of their parents. So for what I've experienced throughout my life, and encouraging my mom to be on the land has been so much healing. Like, it's just continuous. And there's some things that can really get in the way of that. You know, our own self-talk, what society out there is telling people. Like, you're not valuable unless you're a leader. You're not valuable unless you're loud. You know, you're not valuable unless you're visible. And that's something that my mom taught me growing up, and that I witnessed other people, and I've seen her carry on as, you know, after a certain amount of days, my mom would notice, oh, hey, there's somebody who's been, you know, really quiet in the back. You know, I'm really curious what they have to share. You know, and she would do certain things that reminded me that I can speak up, because I was the quiet one. You know, she was teaching me and trying to teach everybody else, like, hey, quit forgetting about Badger, you know, just because they're quiet over there and doing all these things, because I was one of those kids running around. You know, people would say, oh, you know, quieten them. It's like, no, they're part of the experience. Like what Manny was saying about having children around. You know, I feel what soothes my spirit quite often. I could be having just the most intense feelings, because I get like emotionally dysregulated. And it can be really difficult to ground myself. But the moment there's a baby around, all those things go so far out the window. You know, the way that we can show up for that young one. And over the years, having my mom remind me over and over again, like what Audrey was saying, like not only what do I need, but what does little Badger need right now? You know, because my trauma is like, I have to address that little one all the time and soothe them. And what I was getting at is that feeling that society doesn't give you that space. You know, some people don't have a physical grandmother. Some people don't have a physical auntie or uncle, and that means so many different things. So like when we're praying, and that's what I was feeling today, like hearing my mom talk about the prayers, acknowledging people being forced to leave their territory. Because I'm one of those people. We didn't get forced to leave our village. Like even our reserve is right next to our village. And so like there's just so much that I feel like we don't get acknowledged of what we're doing in a prayerful way. Culturally sometimes we get taught like this is ceremony. This is what's sacred. One of my elders told me, if you feel like you need to pray, go to a tree. So many trees, they're literally holding themselves in prayer. And in like just circling back to what Manny was saying, like, because I'm from the interior and we use the smudge. Because sometimes it can get really difficult lifting things off of you. Because of our attachments to it. Some of those things don't want to let go of you, and sometimes you don't want to let go of it. So we sometimes would light that smudge, and it just helps lift those prayers. And I was always reminded, like, make sure you open the window. You don't want to be sitting around that stuff either, right? Basking in it. And I didn't know what I was going to say when I got up here. I've been just trying to listen to where everybody is at. Because again, it's not just about my agenda. Like what my mom was saying, we don't have one. We listen to what's been going on. She started out in a teepee. So when she says she didn't know whether or not she was going to last 10 days, she means it. Like it was really a big struggle, and it took all of us. And it wasn't just people showing up physically. It was people sometimes even just offering us things. We're like, oh, why are you giving us that? We're like, because my grandmother really liked this. Or, people traveling and they're like, this is something that means a lot to our people from where we're from. Because Ulluilsc it's a gathering place. It actually sits pretty close to borders. So like our communication and our interaction was important. Like I said, I don't have an agenda. I don't try to use big words. I actually stopped using big words in high school because I had some of my friends looking at me and they're like, we don't know what you're saying. And then I saw my mom and my dad go through that same feeling with their adult friends. I don't know what you're saying. So I just start using more simpler words. And then I could really hear the teachers say, the Ulluilsc teachers tell us, we didn't have complicated words. We didn't have complicated phrases. So much of what we spoke was simple. So a lot of things depended on how you could express yourself. Because even within Ulluilsc Nation, the southern and northern, we speak differently. So you could tell where somebody was from. I love that. Even just thinking about it, I was like, oh, that'd be so cool to tell where somebody's from. Because like even the way that we sing. I sing differently. Some of the shared songs that we have, like the Women's Warrior, I sing that differently because of where I come from. Oh, sorry, I am just so caught up after seeing and hearing and feeling my mom. Because right now she's at my house. She come down from the mountain to look after the family house so I can be here. And that's what brings me circling back to the prayer. Whether I am up here saying it, I do say in prayer, I am grateful for all of you that have taken the time away from your loved ones, your families, your dogs, your gardens, your plants. You know, I want to thank you for that sacrifice, and I also want to acknowledge the ones that you've left behind, as I have left behind my mom too. You know, and I think that that's what soothes me. And that's what I say in prayer. If you don't have any of those things, if that's missing, then I pray that good things and good people come to you in your path, you know, to soothe you in some way. Because that's something my mom would, I remember hearing the first time she prayed for it. She's like, oh, Creator, I pray that you fill the belly of the ones out there who aren't getting a meal. I pray that you can just soothe their spirit so they can make it through the night, because we know a prayer isn't going to fill the belly sometimes. So soothing that spirit for me sometimes is stirring it up in a way that's like, oh, I see that little bit of strong bit in there. I'm going to, you know, comfort it, nourish it in a way, lay some medicine down on it, you know. Say, oh, look at that. Your one root is going a little bit. Let me throw some dirt over that. You know, and I guess I say these things because I feel like I want to encourage people to trust listening to their spirit once in a while. And I know that can be scary. So I just would like to encourage people to find someone to nourish that part of you, because I can feel it. I wouldn't be sharing this if I didn't feel it. Because, again, being first generation out of residential school, it's like it's a knowing. You know, first generation out of residential school is completely so different than every other generation. We all experience different things. I grew up with so much of my culture. I was teaching my friends. I've always been teaching, and I try to do it in a loving way. And sometimes, like even going through this process, it can be trying. I get gruff. You know, there's some apologies I need to make to a few people. And that's human. Like what we've been talking about, that's human. I'm not going to stand here and act like I'm something that I'm not. Just like what my mom would say. And I'm proud to quote her. I'm proud to just be here and represent so much of what she does. 'Cause I can't say it enough. I'm just so proud of her. I'm really happy to have some family here. And I hope to make some connections, and I hope you all are also making connections with each other too. You know, that's the thing about keeping a circle strong, is that they say, try not to break the circle. So I'm not too sure what else I even want to say. I just mostly have been sitting there wanting to talk with so many of you and the panel. Like, I hope that this encourages more engagement. Because like what our people say, you stand up and you see who's around. So I'm curious, has anybody heard of Ulluilsc before this? You want to raise your hand if you haven't? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you interested in learning more or coming together? Because we will have more fundraisers, because this is our 11th year, March 16th. It's 11 years. And it really does take all of us. Like, I've sat here and I've spoken to so many people, and in some ways it's nice to see familiar faces, but even more so over the years, it's like, yes, there's new faces. That's good. That's so good. Because we need that renewal. It gets tiring. Like, I've been doing this for 11 years just with Ulluilsc, but I've been doing this my whole life. Like, I come from a spiritual family, so I've always been of service. So I just would really like to encourage people to keep learning, and keep showing up, and also just be gentle with yourselves. Oh.
Can you explain to everybody, like, a little bit more about how Albert asked your mom and what reoccupying the village means?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I totally forgot about that. That's what I did want to mention. Thank you. Oh, I think I was avoiding talking about the elder because I miss him a lot. He passed away a few years ago, Albert Joseph. He one of the most important things that he brought to our attention was the amount of broken corridors within our territory. Like, it's when like one area is like region or is like broken off from another, like when the valley is separated from the mountain, you know, when things can't migrate and stuff. It's just when it's disturbed enough that it's broken. And that's what Albert said. He said, I'm so worried. We've been trying to, you know, lessen and stop all of these broken corridors, and we haven't been successful. So, like, if we could just save this square 10 miles, and I cried hearing him say that. Our territory is big for what he just said. And I just remember hearing him say that. You know, we need to be here to protect this corridor because it's one of the last corridors that isn't broken. And it was just getting back to renewal because they logged it like 50 years ago. The mine was open for years. So just literally just starting to reclaim it, and they start to, you know, see their tree farms tall enough. And yeah, we stopped them. And yeah, it was more than Albert. It was Kenny and our friend Tina who brought it to our attention what they were doing up there, because it was sneaky business. You know, brought to our attention, and I knew what I wanted to. I knew that I wanted to stop it, but I wasn't the one who could do it. So I literally badgered my mom until the elders asked her, and she's like, oh, well, Badger's been bugging me for a while now. And I'm like, yeah, there's many cut blocks. We didn't stop. And, you know, Kenny and Albert are right there. So yeah, March 16th, there was like how many feet of snow on the ground yet? Had to like carve out a little spot for the teepee, and she went up there. So yeah, it's been pretty amazing. 'Cause yeah, I was trying to ask my partner, I can't remember, it has to be like at least 20 different like people coming from 20 different like countries. Like we've had so many different people up there, like coming up in groups, sometimes coming up as individuals. Like Vines has been doing a work bee for 5 years. Yeah, that was a long time. So yeah, we're gonna be continuing doing more things. It's starting to get more established up there. We used to have a celebration on March 16th, but there was only 2 years that we actually had good enough weather for that to happen, because like there's no way anybody could get up there with the like later winters and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, we have to figure that one out. It's a really difficult date to celebrate. But actually, there was something I wanted to share. Reminded me of that. Sorry, I haven't been talking into this very well. I don't like talking into these things. So like 2 years before Ulluilsc, our hunting territory in Camus got logged out for the twinning of a transmission line. And I felt very troubled because it was every day I would hear like almost 20 logging trucks go by J breaks and all, and we have S corners above our house, so it was just all day. And I would just go nuts. And that's what it was for 2 years. I'm just bugging my mom, and she's like, I don't know what we can do. And when Manny mentioned that about singing, that's what I've always done since I was a kid. I don't make full songs. I just make little songs, and I just sing to try and help soothe what's there. No more tall buildings, just mountains. I was staring out my window, watching beautiful trees cut down, limbs sawn off. I was stripped down to the core that it once protected, out of love, respect, and a great responsibility. When will it stop? The massacre of trees from the land I call home. A silent cry at first, but to follow is a loud and clear war cry. I am awake. So I just sing that over and over again. Every time I'd hear those logging trucks go by. Because sometimes sometimes that's what is there. You know, I think of all the hard times that our people have gone through since contact, and how we've held on to these songs that soothe us. Not only soothe us, but nourish us and give us that space to just really sing loud and hard too, to just really feel it right from here. Because when I'm home and I'm singing, man, the walls, I feel like I'm making them shake. It's a really good feeling. I loved hearing Miranda sing. So I don't know if there's anything more Heather wants me to say. Yeah.
We were going to ask everyone to do a little activity where you talk amongst yourselves in like groups of 4 or 5 people where you're sitting, and then report back if you don't mind, just for the next 20 minutes, and then we'll have a little break and do the workshop. So Badger kept mentioning the word renew. Christine also says regeneration a lot. So I guess just if you could speak in a group with 4 people around you, what are you doing to renew yourself or your organization or the land? So you don't have to cover all 3 if you don't want to, but yourself, organization, and the land. And if, you can just go in little groups of 4, and if you can all say thank you to Badger, that would be awesome.